You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Addressing Gettysburg takeover of the History Underground's YouTube channel. Unprecedented. No one has ever done this before except for the people that I got the idea from. And you may be saying, who is this person? Goofy, bald, wearing a hat? That would be me. I'm Matt, and I am the host of Addressing Gettysburg, and thank you for indulging us as we take over JD's channel. Of course, let's not dally anymore talking about me, because you don't care about who I am. You care about the people that we're going to interview today, and we're going to interview two very interesting people. You know one of them already, JD. Hello, JD.
Hello.
How are you?
We'll see here in about an hour. We'll know if I've made a terrible mistake or not.
Yes. And thank you for making that mistake. And with JD is a friend of mine and a friend of JD's now. He owns the Gettysburg Museum of History here in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not exaggerating when I tell you that this is the best museum in the world. I'm not exaggerating. I truly believe that. It's got some of the coolest artifacts. His name is Eric Dorr. Hello, Eric. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Matt. Nice to be on, and thanks for that great plug right there.
Absolutely.
I happen to agree with you, by the way.
Every chance I get, Eric, when people ask me, are there any good museums here, I tell them, yours.
Great.
Always.
Appreciate
This is
that.
getting really confusing because I keep thinking you're talking to me and you're not.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Eric with a K. Yeah. And that person, the disembodied voice that you just heard is Eric, the producer. He's the producer of my show, Addressing Gettysburg. Anyway, so you guys are here to talk about this exciting new series that you've been filming for, what, all day today or all weekend? Or
Yeah, today was our first day of filming.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is the name of the series going to be?
So the name of the series is going to be American Artifact.
American Artifact.
Yeah.
That harkens me back to a project, Eric, with a K, that you and I both worked on about 10 years ago.
Oh, yes. Fond memories. Matt and I have some history. We worked on a show called American Museum, and it never really got picked up, but Matt actually filmed my very first sizzle reel for that project, and we had some fun with that, but it never got picked up, and it was still a lot of fun, and I was always disappointed that it didn't really take off, but I guess it was not the right moment in time.
No, and I think now it is. It was a fortuitous meeting that you had with JD. Where did you guys meet?
Met at a restaurant. So we have a mutual friend by the name of Frank Buck.
Okay.
So the Buck family is getting ready to launch a new museum in Gettysburg called the World War II American Experience.
Okay. I knew that name from something. Okay, so that's who's doing the World War II Museum.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
All kinds of cool
It looks
vehicles
cool.
and things like that. So I'm pumped for that to open. But anyway, he invited me to dinner, and Eric was there. So we got to talking, and of course, there's the mutual love of history and things like that. Whenever I was running this never-ending Gettysburg series that I'm doing right now, which it is ending here pretty soon. I think within the next couple weeks I'll have my last Gettysburg episode. But I had tons of people that kept commenting and sending me messages and things like that saying, hey, you need to go to the Gettysburg Museum of History. Like, it's unbelievable. They have this, they have that. So it was kind of, like you said, a fortuitous meeting that we both connected. And Eric invited me to the museum. And really, it was a spur of the moment thing. Like, it wasn't planned on my last trip here. So we went in there, and whenever I walked into the museum, I felt like Chief Brody in Jaws, where he sees the shark for the first time, and then he says, "We're going to need a bigger boat." That's how I felt. Because my intention was to go in there, film an episode, integrate it in, and I was like, "There's no way." There's no way I can get all of this into an episode.
Because let's explain this to people. So
Sure.
the style of museum that you have is more like an old roadside museum, kind of like a Ripley's museum type of thing, right? More like a what do they used to call them? You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't call it like a Ripley museum. I mean, there's certainly some unusual things there.
But I mean more the style of how it's set up.
Yeah, it's like an old-fashioned museum. It's not like a modern museum with a lot of text panels and imagery and push buttons and things like that. It's artifact based, and there's a lot of them. But the biggest mistake people make when they come in, and a lot of people have come in because of seeing some of the History Channel shows that I've done, like American Pickers, and and they had only filmed the Civil War part, and a lot of people only associate Gettysburg with Civil War, and my museum is a history museum, and we interpret not just the Civil War, and we have a nice collection of those artifacts, but we interpret World War I, World War II, political history. So basically it's a military and political history museum, and some other things thrown in too. We try to tie a lot of things to Gettysburg. A lot of people, outsiders who come in for the first time, don't understand the connection with, say, World War II. Well, they don't know that Gettysburg is the sister city of St. Mary-Glisse in Normandy, France. President Eisenhower lived here, and he was a big figure in World War II. Yeah. And we actually used our battlefield as a Nazi or German POW camp during World War II. And there's also the history with World War I with Camp Colt, and it was a U.S. tank training camp. So a lot of people think that the history ends, I think you said, we were talking about that earlier, July 4th, 1863, but there's a lot more to Gettysburg than just the Civil War. And I interpret a lot of that because that's where my interest is.
Sure. And the Civil War stuff that you have is very interesting. But my favorite room, you remember what my favorite room is? Do you remember? No.
Probably not.
Okay. He didn't think about me until this afternoon. He hasn't thought about me in years. My favorite room is the JFK room.
Okay.
It's two rooms, right, with JFK stuff?
No, it's one.
It's one? Okay. Because you had two for a while.
For a while, yep.
Talk about some of the stuff that you have in there.
Well, in the JFK room, we have one of his suits that he wore between 1955 and 1960. We have a lot of personal items, some of his like his grooming kit from the White House, and lots of paper items, a lot of things with documents
and stuff.
Yeah, and we have a piece of the leather from the limousine where he was killed with his blood on it. Yes. So we have a lot of assassination-related items. People tend to really be interested and fascinated with the JFK assassination. A lot of people that come in the museum are that age, where they remember it.
Yeah.
The older crowd, as you would say, and I'm going to get in trouble for saying that. but I mean,
older than us.
A little bit older than us, and
the more experienced crowd.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Gosh, and we would have people that would say, oh, I remember when Kennedy was killed, and we actually started a logbook so people could record their memories of that. And we've had people that actually were at the funeral. We had someone who was in Dallas when it happened, and they wrote down, what their interpretation of that.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
it is a good idea.
Yeah. I love that room. For a while, I remember you had some of Jack Ruby's stuff.
Oh yeah, we still have it.
You still have that in there?
Yeah.
And that was pretty neat because there's doodles that he did. I guess it was in jail. Was it in jail of Jackie, her fate, he drew her.
Yeah, and there's the geometric doodles that he did all the time.
Yeah.
Those are really interesting, and it kind of, is a little glimpse into his mind. And, we have the suit that he wore to his trial, one of several, I'm sure. But, we have some things from his nightclub, the Carousel Club, some of his business cards. We actually have a contract from one of the women that worked at his club. Her name was Buttercup.
Buttercup.
Yeah. So in case you don't know, Jack Ruby owned a nightclub, and he had burlesque dancers there.
The Carousel Club, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I'm currently listening on Audible to a book called Case Closed by Gerald Posner.
Oh, yes. I'm familiar with that book.
Ruby was a nut, and so was Oswald. And I believe that they just did their own thing. I used to be a conspiracy theorist guy, but now I'm like, no. Oswald was a loser and a nut, and Ruby was also a nut.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with what book you just read, because my mind has changed several times on that topic.
So where are you now?
I'm at Gerald Posner's book right now, too.
Okay, so you're with me that he was alone.
Yeah, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Who cares? All right. And so, how did you guys get the idea to do American Artifacts?
So after we went and filmed, that first run on History Traveler with those 4 episodes that we did, we stayed in contact with each other, and I sent him a text or a call, I can't remember exactly which, and I said, dude, you need a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could legitimately have just a YouTube channel dedicated to just this museum, showing all of the different artifacts. I said, I happen to know a guy who is decent with a camera and can edit a little bit, if you wanted to do that. So the conversation kind of continued from there. Eric got a really good response from those 4 videos that came out. Generated a lot of interest. People were coming to the museum, which was encouraging to me, because it means that, it's always encouraging to me to see people getting into history and getting excited about it. So anyway, then through just multiple conversations, we decided that rather than starting a whole new YouTube channel from scratch, we would just integrate it into the History Underground, which kind of is what I was wanting to do whenever I first started the channel to begin with. So I've caused a lot of confusion on my channel, which I'm really good at. So the History Underground was designed to be a channel that had multiple series in it. So there was one called Echoes of War, where I had like uncut interviews with World War II veterans, and those are there's a few episodes of that on there. And then there was History Traveler, and then I've had other ideas, going through my head.
But you're the one that's hosting all of those? Is that what it is?
So on the Echoes of War one, it's not me at all. You can hear me in the background, like asking questions and everything like that. The History Traveler series ended up just kind of dominating the channel. Right. So this is going to offer something that is a little bit fresh. It's going to be different. His museum is just so stinking insane. I love it, because I'll go through different periods where I'll go through like a World War II period, and then I'll go into World War I, and I'll really dive into that, and then I might attach myself to something else, and going through that museum, you kind of get a taste for all of those different things in history, which I really like, and the artifacts are so unique, and it's stuff you're not going to see anywhere else, that I think it resonates with people whenever there's an object that you can see, and that connects you with this period in history.
Right. And I agree. You're right. You brought some items with you, right?
I did, but I just want to tell you another thing that happened right around that time that's pretty important. Sure. I had been thinking about doing a YouTube channel for a while, but I don't really have the the technical skills to do so.
Right.
But one of the things that happened was, I have a huge Facebook page. And check it out. We do a lot of posts, Gettysburg Museum of History on Facebook. And I have about 140,000 followers, which is pretty big.
Pretty sweet.
I think
on Facebook?
Yeah.
I thought they limited at 5,000.
That's a personal, but mine's a like page.
Ah,
so I have that many likes.
And the museum page.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think it's more than the Gettysburg National Military Park, but I'm not sure. They've probably caught up by now. But what had happened was, over the last couple years, I've had some issues with Facebook because of the World War II imagery. They have a problem with that, and also some war imagery. They would just like take posts down, and what happened was my Facebook page got taken down right around the time we filmed those videos. And I woke up one morning, I went to go log in, and my page was gone. Every post I've ever done was gone, and it was crazy. And, I got some attorneys involved, and they contacted Facebook's lawyers, and we got it ironed out. And one day it was back up, and everything was back up. Jeez. But still, you got to watch what you post on Facebook, because they don't take context into consideration at all.
Right.
So if I post a story about a World War II German item that was captured by an American soldier, I'm in danger. With YouTube, they do take context into consideration.
Yes.
Of course, they're not going to let you put hateful things up, but if you're doing a World War II documentary post, they're okay with that.
Oh, there's tons of documentaries about Hitler and the Nazis on YouTube, but they're legitimate documentaries.
Exactly, and that's what I'm doing, and they finally recognized that. And the other thing that happened was when these videos started to come out, people started coming in my museum who, and basically I thought from having a following like that on Facebook and some of the History Channel TV shows I've done that most people knew about me, you know, but JD has a whole different audience
Yes.
of serious history people who may not watch TV or I don't know what it is, but there were all these people coming in saying, I didn't know about this place. This is wonderful. Yeah. So he has tapped into a different audience and basically an audience who is appreciative of history.
Yeah.
I had all these people saying, wow, we love what you're doing. We love what he's doing. And it was really refreshing because a year ago, you know, I thought maybe my career may be coming to an end soon with the way things were happening in our country. You know, our country was burning down and they were taking monuments down, and there seemed to be a very anti-history vibe going on everywhere, even here, even in Gettysburg.
Oh yeah.
Which was shocking. And you know, to see all these people who he has reached, and they appreciate it. It was really refreshing for me. Yeah. I told him it was like a historical spiritual awakening to connect with people who aren't just on your Facebook page bashing you, but actually saying, this is really cool, this is really interesting, and we like what you're doing. And it was great. And
let's see, you started going on the History Channel, what, about 10 or so years ago, right?
Correct, yeah, about 10 years ago.
So that's kind of, that wave is starting to dissipate, and then just as you're starting to think, oh,
I stopped doing...
Boom, he comes in.
Yeah, exactly. I stopped doing some of the shows because, well, you know, I did Pawn Stars, I did 13 episodes, and... You know, they're real. Everybody thinks it's fake. It's not real. I came on as a reoccurring seller, and I sold a couple items in the first year. I was
so they actually buy them from you when you come to the deal.
Yeah.
They actually will buy it from you.
Yeah, and the first year I did really well. And the second year they didn't buy anything. They were lowballing. So I just decided, you know, it's not really a fit for me. And I turned down an expert role originally on there because of American Museum, and I was under an exclusivity with them. So I kind of dropped the ball with them, and that's the more desirable role is to be the expert instead of the guy selling stuff, because then they cast you as a non-expert.
Right.
And unfortunately, you have to go up with their so-called experts, and sometimes that's a little tough, you know, when they don't know.
You got to like bite your lip.
A little bit, yeah. And you know, and then if they decide they don't like an item, you know, it gives you the kiss of death, basically, you know, so it's not good. But yeah, you talked about bringing some items in. I can certainly show you a couple items.
Yeah, let's see them.
Yeah, well,
you got to get your gloves on, ladies.
That's right. That's right.
Got to get gloves on so that. Well, why do you have to wear gloves, Eric? Tell us why. So people don't yell at you.
Yeah, it's to keep from getting hate mail and getting called out and getting emails from people. And, no, it's to protect the items. You know, it's just one of those things that we do.
Yeah.
And they're very awkward, and so it's taking me longer than it should.
Here, let me talk about this while you're doing that there.
All right.
Okay, because this is a new book that Eric put out with Jared Frederick, who I also know. I also know Jared. Hang Tough. Can you see this here? You got the color. Yeah, you don't need me showing it there. But this is about this is the letters, the World War II letters and artifacts of Major Dick Winters, who of course is the main character basically in the series Band of Brothers. Really cool guy, right? You met him.
No, I never met Major Winters. Nope.
So how did you get doing this?
Well,
don't worry, we're going to get to the artifacts, folks.
Yeah. We obtained some of the artifacts of Major Dick Winters back in 2016, and among those items were his files and his photo albums. And in those files were letters. He corresponded with a Navy wave named Dieta, and he wrote to her all through World War II, actually from before World War II. He was actually in the Army when Pearl Harbor was bombed, and he was actually out on a date with her when Pearl Harbor was bombed. They went horseback riding on December 7th, 1941.
Really?
And so he wrote to her often, and I don't think it was anything more than a pen pal situation. You know, they never really were that romantic.
Sure.
But they were fantastic, and it was a whole different side of Dick Winters than we're used to seeing. You know, where the other papers and the other writings I had in the files were, you know, very businesslike, the officer and military talk, and he comes off as being a very all business kind of guy, and these letters have real emotion in them, and it's a whole different side. So I decided I had to do something with these letters.
Is he a romantic guy?
Not really. Like I said, it's more of a pen pal
That was
situation.
disappointing.
Yeah,
I was hoping you would say yes.
but he's funny, and that's something that we don't normally see.
Right.
And he banters with her back and forth, and it was really fantastic. And of course, we have the artifacts. So in the book, we also have a color section in the middle that has a bunch of the artifacts like this that I'm going to show you right now.
Perfect segue into the artifact. Good
The
job.
book is great because it has awesome pictures for people like us.
Yeah, is it a picture book? Okay, let's see.
This is Dick Winter's 1911. And he carried that all through World War II, except for on D-Day, because he had gotten another one. And if you're familiar with the Band of Brothers story, he lost his equipment on D-Day. So he left this in his footlocker. He had a second 1911 that he lost, and then he used this from somewhere later in the Normandy campaign till the end of the war. And he brought this one home. So this is the one he had through most of World War II, except for D-Day.
That's so cool.
And it's one of my favorite things, and just think that he had this and all those incredible times. It's interesting.
Pull that up a bit so that the people can see it there. Yeah, you're a little low. Okay, perfect. Yeah, nice.
So
turn it around a bit. Show it off. Show it off for the camera. Look at that.
I offered him $200 for it, but he wouldn't take it.
$200. I know him well enough to know that he would have laughed at that or spit in your eye.
So we talked about the book, and it's available on Amazon, of course, and it's available on our website, GettysburgMuseumofHistory.com. But the thing you can't get on Amazon is the special edition, and the special edition is basically the same book, but it has a book plate that is signed by Brad Freeman of Easy Company. Now, he is the last living enlisted soldier from Easy Company, and he wrote the foreword to our book. So he's one of the last guys that ever served with Major Winters. And it also comes with a piece of D-Day parachute that was actually used on D-Day.
No kidding. That for real?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a real deal.
Yep.
Wow.
And so that's available on our website. We have
And
a few
you
left.
signed it.
Yes, that's my COA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
a few
these are
left.
available on the website. There's a few left, I think it's just a really neat piece, and I was really happy that Mr. Freeman agreed to do the book, and his foreword is really interesting too. And Mr. Freeman, I had the pleasure of touring Europe with him twice in 2017 and 2018. And he loved Major Winters. He speaks highly of him, and the foreword reflects that.
So, and he's the last surviving member of Easy Company?
He is the last enlisted man. So there's one other Easy Company member who's alive. His name is Ed Shames, and he was an officer.
Okay. Now, so, Eric, you've got this museum. How long have you had the museum for?
12 years.
12 years. But you've been collecting and trading or selling things for most of your life, right? Or all of your life?
Yeah. I started collecting when I was about 5 years old, and my ancestors owned Ziegler's Grove. And
out here on the battlefield at Gettysburg,
yes.
which is by the Bryan Farm now, if you go on the battlefield.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they actually were they were tenant farmers during the battle, so they were near the Eisenhower farm in that area. We don't know exactly where it is because we couldn't really research the tax records because they were.
What was their
farmers.
name?
Peffer. Yeah.
Okay.
And so in 1865 or 1866, right around there, they moved to Ziegler's Grove, and they rented the David Ziegler farm from him, and eventually they bought it. And so I had all these relics that they found, and I grew up playing with relics, and that was my thing, the objects. And I'll bring out another interesting.
What a coincidence. I had no idea when I asked this question.
So this is a Colt Army revolver, and this was found on the table at the Peffer farm, the one that was near the Eisenhower farm, because the Peffer family fled like most farmers. They had some horses, and the Confederates were taking horses, and the people had heard that. So they gathered their horses, and they hightailed it out of town. When they came home, this revolver was on their kitchen table. And so my grandfather had this when I was a kid, and, as a 5-6-year-old kid, I would look at this revolver and think
Just drool.
a Civil War soldier had this.
Yeah.
And that's how I connected. I always say, different people connect with history in different ways. Some
Right.
people reenact, some people collect artifacts, some people read books, some people become tour guides, but I connected with the objects. And, you know, this is one of my favorite things. I mean, this is probably what started me more than anything, is the fascination with this.
And
pistol.
that's in such great shape, too. I mean, it's been well taken care of.
Yeah, they kept it nice.
Yeah.
For sure. It was in my grandfather's den for, 21 years until I got it. So
Now, so you said your family lived in what house? Ziegler's house?
it was the David Ziegler farm.
And that no longer stands, those buildings,
Right.
right?
The park took it through eminent domain around 1903, or I might not have that date
Early
quite right.
1900s.
Early 1900s, and after they obtained the property, they knocked the barn down and stuff, and then they moved the one house, and there's pictures of that. And so, they didn't preserve things as much as they do now.
Right.
So kind of like the Forney farm,
Yeah, I was
the
just
same
gonna
thing
say,
happened.
that's exactly
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's no longer there. Was it where the parking lot is now, or?
Well,
where?
there's that modern day entrance to the park that goes up to Ziegler's Grove from the Emmetsburg Road, but basically it's across from Pickett's Buffet and
Gotcha. Right on the Emmetsburg Road.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. So in the series then,
Yep.
American Artifacts, you're going to feature specific artifacts with the stories and everything like that. Can you give us a little tease as to what you shot today? Maybe just a couple that you shot
sure.
today.
Probably. Okay, so the first one that stands out to me, I always World War II is my home base. I always end up coming back to World War II.
Yeah, because you've been spending a lot of time in our turf here. And,
yes, I have. So there was a whole bunch of helmets that Eric has in his collection.
Okay.
That men brought back from World War II. So they're German helmets that they decorated. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's
Yeah.
there's one helmet in particular where a guy lists I can't remember. Wow, this is terrible. I can't even remember what I shot today.
What did he shoot, Eric?
With all the names, were those people that were wounded from his platoon?
Yeah, I think they were
or-
casualties. It was
Okay.
29th Division.
Okay, so it lists like names of people that he fought with. There's another set of helmets where guys wrote down all of the cities that they went to, and to me that was the most fascinating because you kind of get this intersection of history and art.
And the 29th Division, I believe Route 29 down in Virginia is the 29th Division Memorial Highway or something like that, or
Yeah.
at least it used to be.
They were originally a National Guard unit, and it was the blue and gray. So there was some men from Maryland and Virginia, and their symbol is almost like a yin yang, and it has part of its blue and part of its gray. And I guess they considered Maryland blue, because they never
Yeah.
really seceded. But but yeah, it was the blue and gray division, and it was originally that National Guard unit from that area. And then when they activated, there was men from there and other areas as well.
What else? What's another one?
So whenever we haven't filmed this yet, but I'll just give a tease for it. We'll be filming probably in the next couple of days. But anyway, in that first run of episodes that we did on History Traveler, the artifact that probably got the most response from people, or that I heard about most from people, was an X-ray that was taken of Adolf Hitler's skull. It wasn't his skull. It was a dental X-ray that was taken in 1944. There are a lot of people who are convinced that Hitler did not die in the Führer bunker in Berlin and that he escaped to Argentina.
Right.
So we're going to revisit that, and
You're going to solve it.
We're going to solve it. Yeah, it's going to be taken care
It's
of.
about time somebody solved that
Yeah,
mystery.
but to be fair, I didn't do a great job in that episode explaining exactly what that X-ray was.
Way to sell it.
So yeah, so I want to come back and offer a little bit more clarity. I didn't say anything that was wrong.
Right.
I just didn't. I'll tell you what. Going through that museum was like drinking from a fire hydrant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, here, film this, because we only had a short amount of time. So I didn't really get to go into the depth that I really wanted to on a lot of these artifacts.
Yeah.
hence the new series.
Well, but then they're just going to have to go to the museum to see them and
100%.
everything else that's there.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we had kind of like a meet and greet thing yesterday at the museum, and had quite a few people show up. And one thing that really encouraged me was seeing parents bringing their kids in, and seeing the kids. It wasn't like a stereotypical museum experience with kids where the dad's going in and he's dragging his kids and they're complaining. Like the kids were engaged and excited about everything that they were seeing.
Good.
So yeah, it's awesome.
It was
awesome.
amazing.
That's why
see.
the channel exists.
Yeah, that's great. Well, let's talk to someone from your adoring public right now on the phone. 702 area code. You're on the air with JD and Eric.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi, how's it going, guys? I'm a big fan of the show.
Oh, thanks.
Especially like History Underground. I love your channel. I've actually got done watching your last video about Cope's Hill and Sergeant Lilly repairing the flag under fire. And I still can't get over how amazing that is.
Yeah.
I was an NCO in the military, carried the colors on runs, and thank God we don't have to do that anymore in combat. But just the thought of that is insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, Culp's Hill is so undervalued, I think you could say, amongst visitors. So that's one thing that I was hoping to do with that particular episode and some of the others is say, hey, when you come to Gettysburg, yeah, there's Pickett's Charge. Yeah, there's Little Round Top. Over here on the right flank, there were some pretty important things that were happening. So yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed that episode.
Where are you from, caller?
Yeah,
What's your
I would
name?
love to go back. I live in Las Vegas. My name is Bill Willingham. I'm a
You didn't have to get your full
I'm
name.
just a huge history fan.
Awesome.
You might. Oh, sorry. It's okay. I really don't matter.
Okay, good.
I had another quick question for you gentlemen, just if you guys could. If I'm actually related to General John Bell Hood.
Oh.
He was actually my great grandfather.
Awesome.
And I'm kind of curious. Do you guys ever know what pistol he used when he was commanding?
Pistol.
That is an Eric question.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know the answer to that question. I've never read that anywhere or saw that.
I'm trying to think if I've seen a picture of him with a pistol on. I know there's that one really tall one
I've
where
tried.
You've tried. I mean,
Yeah, I've tried. The thing is, I ended up with a lot of stuff.
Right.
And I've probably got about 17 Civil War pistols.
Oh, wow.
Pretty decent sized collection, I think. And I'm curious if I actually own his, just because it's been passed down. So I was curious if you guys knew, because I'm kind of wondering. It's unlikely, but do I have it and not know it, kind of thing?
So wait a minute. Are you
I got
saying?
a really nice 1860 Army.
Okay.
It's engraved and everything, but it doesn't say his name anywhere. I figured that it probably had his name on it.
So is this gun from your family and passed down, and there's a chance that it may be his? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Probably not likely.
Okay.
Yes, but I do have another grandfather's Civil War pistol, a 51 Navy. And the sad part is I only know his first name is John. I don't even know what the guy's last name. It's on the wife's side. It's kind of funny how both Stanleys have so much Civil War ties. But on my father's side, I'm related to John Bell Hood, and I actually ended up with a lot of guns because all my grandfathers are huge guns guys. Lots of single action armies, and through the cowboy era.
Interesting.
But a lot of Civil War pistols, a lot. 51 Navy, 60 Armies. I actually have a Griswold and Gunnison, which is kind of cool. One of the few people I've ever met with one of those. And that actually brings me to another question I had for.
Well, wait, I got a question for you. I got a question for you first. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Being a descendant of Hood, do you think that at Gettysburg he should have been allowed to go around to the right?
I don't know if I'm qualified enough to say yes or no.
Very good. Very good answer.
That would be my best answer for that. And
okay, your next question.
Put it this way. Also, my next question is someone like myself, I'm a curator to the firearms that I have, but I thank God I have a son and I'm hoping to pass those on. But if I ever wanted to put them somewhere for them to be seen, my biggest concern is giving it to a museum and then them just being stuffed away back in the back somewhere and not be seen to people. So if I wanted to have them at a museum, what would be my best chances and best bets? And I'm sure it's probably just contact curators and beg and plead and see if I have anything worthy enough for their front rooms. Like,
Yeah, I
what
would
would be
say
your best suggestion?
I would say go to a museum where you can get control and have an agreement with them. You know, we make agreements with people when they place things on loan, and you know, if it's something that we want for our collections, and we'll tell you, okay, we're going to exhibit this. Okay, we'll take it on loan, but it's probably not going to make it to the showcases. So we're upfront with people. So most good museums will be upfront with you, so you can find one that will actually exhibit your items.
And Eric, tell me, I've heard from, I forget who, but somebody told me, like, never donate artifacts like this to a local historical society because they're likely to sell it and not display it or take care of it.
You know, I think that depends on what institution, you know.
Right. I'm talking small ones, not like the wonderful Adams County Historical Society that we have here.
Yeah, they never sell anything.
No, they're like
good.
They're
Yeah.
like a real deal.
Yeah. And when items are donated to us, unless we have an agreement to actually, you know, sell the items, we keep them. You know, if you donate to the Gettysburg Museum of History, it stays at the Gettysburg Museum of History, unless you tell me if you don't need this for your collections and you want to use it to raise money. You know, we get all that out front, and we are honest about it, and we do whatever agreement works for both of us.
Very good. You got another caller there, or another question there, caller? Because I got two more people that I got to get to.
No,
right now.
that is it. I really appreciate your guys' time and letting me on and talking with you, gentlemen. And once again, I'm a huge fan of the History Underground channel.
Appreciate that.
You're doing amazing work, brother.
Thanks.
Very good.
Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for the call. All right, we're going to go to another caller right now. Let's see. Who have I got here? 417, you're on the air.
Yeah. Hey, I am another one of those great big psycho fans, literally, of the History Traveler series and the History Underground. And actually,
psycho.
And because I tell you, I found your channel by accident. And it's like crack. I can't go to bed. I stay up late binge watching it. It's like I need intervention, but I won't accept it. But I went and bought the History Traveler T-shirts. Everybody needs those, by the way.
Oh, awesome! Thank you.
I was actually have one question for JD and one for Eric. I was just wondering, JD, like how you choose the music you use, because like on your videos, the music is always brilliant.
Oh,
like
thank you.
it's good music, included at just the right times. You know, it's like so professional. Like, and I wondered how you choose that because it's really well done. And then I just wondered how we can support the Gettysburg Museum, since from your videos I understand that there's no admission. So what about people like, I can't afford to travel out there. Probably I'll never get to go out that far away from where I'm at in my life, most likely. But like, do they have like a Patreon sort of account or something where we can donate? I know you do, JD, because I love it. I'm addicted to Patreon too, but
so does Addressing Gettysburg.
But I wondered if there's a way that viewers,
well,
like we can just like do both.
We are a 501c3 now, and so we're currently getting that set up, a donation button or whatever you would want to say. But for right now, until that is completely done and taken care of, you could always go to our website and buy the book Hang Tough or something like that, or
which I just finished reading, by the way.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. And
yeah, it's so good. It's so entertaining. It was very well written. Great job, dude.
Well, thank you.
I'm so
Thank
glad
you.
you enjoyed it.
And I have to give a shout out to Jared too, because he's really, he really put that thing together. It was a little confusing to me. I had never written a book before, so Jared had written several books, and he really put it together in in a way that made sense because I was a little overwhelmed. And and I want to bring this up too. Jared and I have written a second book on Ronald Spears, who was one of the other commanders of Easy Company, and we finished it. And it's coming out in May, and I am real excited about that book. And it is actually available now on Amazon pre-order. So it is available, but it won't really be released till next year. But and Jared and I are also collaborating on a third book where we are going to publish Dick Winter's photo album. So that'll be a big coffee table book. So look for that. And
That's awesome.
and you'll
I thought that maybe you were going to do another book on JD.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That would be a trifold brochure.
Wow.
Oh, that's brilliant.
No,
All right.
To answer your question about the music.
Oh yeah.
So whenever I'm putting an episode together, probably what absorbs the most bandwidth for me and the most time is trying to find the what feels to me to be the right song to go with whatever subject matter that I'm addressing.
Where do you get it from?
So there's several different resources that I draw from online, royalty free stuff.
Yeah.
So
Kevin MacLeod. You use Kevin MacLeod at all? Incompetech?
No.
Okay, that's pretty good stuff.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead.
I was unfamiliar with that one.
Yeah.
So really, what I'm trying to do is trying to gauge, I guess, what emotion the place that I'm at is pulling from me, and then finding the music that matches up to that.
Right.
And I've had some people who have complained about the music, where they say,
You can't win them all.
yeah, and where they tell me that I
Oh,
should
they're
have.
crazy.
Yeah, I've heard people. I've heard people say you should have no music at all, and don't show your face.
Really?
Cool.
But anyway, I get it. Different people have different tastes, and the music's not going to appeal to everybody. My face. Sure
I
as
agree
heck
with the
isn't going to
caller,
appeal to
though. I
everybody.
think that the music is good.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. Because finding the right music and placing it properly is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an art, and you do it well.
Thank you.
Ma'am, thank you for the call. What's your name?
My name is Lisa.
All right, Lisa.
I'm in Springfield, Missouri.
Missouri. Oh.
Oh,
Is
awesome.
that your neck of the woods, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Wow.
Pretty close.
All right. Well, I hope you don't stalk JD. But thank you very much.
No, but if I see him around town, I'll be wearing my Hipster Travel T-shirt.
Well, there you go.
Awesome.
Very good.
I appreciate that.
Thank you very much for the call, and have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's see. We got another person who's been sitting here in the queue for 10 minutes, so we're going to get that person on 678. You're on the air.
Hello, gentlemen. I just want to give you something that I think can connect Gettysburg and Easy Company.
Okay, go ahead.
So JD, the next time you make a trip to Toccoa and Currahee,
Yeah.
make a side trip to Gainesville, Georgia, and visit a couple of sites related to James Longstreet.
That is on my list.
Oh, okay, very
Yeah.
good. But you're ahead.
Yeah, I'm
be
definitely.
sure you visit not just the grave site, but the Piedmont Hotel. What's left of the Piedmont Hotel.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
think-
about that.
That is the hotel that James Longstreet owned at the time of his death.
Oh,
And what you will find there is what remains of the hotel.
okay.
And I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but you're going to be surprised by something that you find there. I'll tell you that to entice you to make the business.
All right. Yeah, that's awesome. And that really kind of hits on a good point. Man, I have found, well, not found, but I've been introduced to so many amazing places from people sending me messages and saying, hey, if you're ever in Virginia, in this area, you should check this out or check that out. So yeah, that's been great too. It's called the Piedmont Hotel.
The Piedmont Hotel. That's
Okay.
right. It's on Maple Street. It's in a section of town that's basically light industrial now.
Okay. All right. Yeah. There's a decent chance
But
I'll be. There's a decent chance I'll be back down in the Toccoa area next June early, because I think I'm slotted to be a guest speaker at Camp Toccoa there at Currahee. So
Very nice. Very nice.
Okay. Well, you know, you might also, James Longstreet's old farm is in Gainesville too,
okay.
and there's a subdivision was developed there back in the 50s and 60s. It's called Longstreet Hills.
Interesting.
So you might want to ask about that when you're visiting Gainesville.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate that.
Thank you very much for the call, sir. No,
You're
go ahead.
welcome.
Yeah, go ahead. You can finish that thought.
Oh, okay. The Piedmont Hotel, what's left of the Piedmont, it's a visitor center now for General Longstreet, and there's a group here in Gainesville. It's called the Longstreet Society, and they were started to basically to restore what was remaining from the old Piedmont Hotel, and to commemorate James Longstreet because he retired here to Gainesville and died here and is buried in Gainesville.
Okay.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for the call.
Now he's got me wondering.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good night.
Now he's got me wondering what is it that he's not telling me.
Yeah,
That's
I
making
know.
me want to go down there earlier.
I know. Oh, man, we got a good number of calls here. So let's see. 970, you're on the air.
Hello, this is Mike from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Oh, God. And I have a few questions here.
Okay, Mike.
One for Eric.
6?
First of all, was that?
Is it 6 questions?
This is 6 questions. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
This is 6 questions.
That's his
But
nickname.
it's not going to be 6 questions.
Oh, okay.
It's,
I gotcha.
Okay.
All right, ask
But
it.
Eric, I went to your museum on my birthday, and first of all, I was going in there because I went to the Heritage Center where you were giving a talk about the book. I went, okay, I'll stop in that museum for a couple of minutes.
Nope.
You could spend hours there and not even hit the first section alone. It is a tremendous museum. So, Eric, where exactly in Gettysburg is your museum located?
219 Baltimore Street.
How are you in there if you don't know where it's located, Mike?
Well, what I'm doing is because I'm what I want to do is for people who are not aware of where it is, I want them to know where they can go to when they visit Gettysburg.
I was going to tell them that at the end of the show. I was going to get there at the end, buddy. Okay, but go ahead.
Hang on, I'm going to interrupt you real quick. For people who watch the History Underground who are watching this or listening, Mike is a friend of the show.
Yes, he's a friend of Addressing Gettysburg, and we have a rapport.
Yeah.
Mike, we do.
And,
go ahead, Mike.
Oh, and for JD, I have a question here.
Sure.
What attracts you to Gettysburg? I think my question is, why Gettysburg? What is it about the place
that's
that has
my
you coming
bag,
back
baby.
over and over again?
What's with the why Gettysburg thing? That's my thing. Go ahead. Why? I said, Mike. Hey, JD. Why Gettysburg?
So, the reason that I came to Gettysburg and ended up doing this giant series was mainly I had so many requests from people saying, when are you going to Gettysburg? When are you going to do Gettysburg? I kept getting that question over and over and over. My intention was to never come to Gettysburg, and for the History Traveler series, because there have been so many, and it's not because I don't like Gettysburg. I love the battle. I love studying it, and, everything like that. My concern was that it is like the battle of the Civil War. Like, people who don't even know anything about the Civil War know Gettysburg. And it's been so well researched and so well covered and has been has been handled by people so more capable than me that I didn't think I had anything to add to it. So I really wanted to stay away from it because I thought, man, if I even try to touch Gettysburg, I'm going to get torched by the Gettysburg enthusiasts. I've been pleasantly surprised by the response, though.
But you're not doing it in a way where you're presenting yourself as the expert. So I mean, why are they going to torch you for that? Well, what am I talking about? They torch everybody.
Let me introduce you to the
I forgot. I forgot what we were talking about for a second.
But really, I look at stuff like with the American Battlefield Trust and so many other production companies and things like that who have tackled Gettysburg and all the documentaries out there. And I thought there's nothing really that I can add to this that is going to be meaningful.
Do you remember what I told you when you were on the live show a few weeks ago or a month ago, whenever that was?
Yeah.
Remember what I told you when you said this?
Yeah.
What did I say?
That
I'll say it because it sounds jerky coming from you. It's not about the subject. It's about you doing the subject. People follow you. Lisa on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you she's got a wall with posters of you all over the place, and she lights candles in front of it and everything. Okay, she loves you. People want to see you show them Gettysburg.
And that's kind
and
of
then
what I hope.
now they will come and listen to Addressing Gettysburg, show them Gettysburg from Gettysburg.
I hope so.
And save you the money from having to travel up here. Go ahead, you're saying.
No, that's kind of what I've always hoped. With the History Traveler series, is that it feels like you're kind of walking along with some guy
right,
that knows a little bit about where he's going, and you're kind of discovering stuff together. So a lot of times whenever you see me show something and I'm like, dang, or wow, or cool, or whatever, like I'm seeing it for the first time, so you're experiencing it right along with me. Now for the Gettysburg series, I did do I tried to do a lot of research preparing for it, and read a lot, listened to a lot of podcasts, watched a lot of the American Battlefield Trust stuff, because I desperately didn't want to look like any more of a moron than what I already am. So anyway, Mike, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
That's why I ended up coming here, was mainly because there were so many people who were requesting it.
You got one more, Mike?
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. That's all I have today.
All right.
So
thank you very
so
much, Mike. Thank you for calling in. It's nice to hear a friendly voice, buddy. Okay, 757, you are on the air.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. First, I just wanted to say I'm a big fan of the History Underground channel. I've been watching it and been really interested in the Gettysburg stuff. I got my T-shirt. And I also wanted to ask you questions, if that's okay.
Sure.
So first one for you, JD. I just was wondering if you're going to visit any more Civil War battle sites.
Yes. As a matter of fact, this summer, so I filmed the bulk of the Gettysburg stuff in March. I came back in June, and I only filmed a few things whenever I was here in June, but I was here for other reasons. So after this Gettysburg series wraps up, which, I was originally afraid to do the Gettysburg series, and now I'm afraid that when it ends, people are going to be like, well, done with you. It's not Gettysburg, so we don't care anymore.
No.
But I went along the area around Gulf Shores, Alabama, and hit some Civil War sites around there. Also hit a few World War II sites in that area. So that's a long answer to an easy question. The answer is yes. Definitely going to be tackling some more Civil War stuff in the future. It's an endless well to draw from.
Yeah, absolutely. What else, sir?
All right. So is it okay if I ask one more?
Of course.
Yeah, sure.
All right. This one's for Eric. I was just wondering. I'm gonna try to. I live in New York City, and it's kind of a trip to go to your museum. So I was just wondering, is there anything else you recommend I do in Gettysburg, other than go to your museum?
No.
And the battlefield.
No, there's other great places to go. Right down the street from me is Ron Palm's Museum of Civil War Images. Fantastic museum.
He's going to be on the show on Thursday this week.
Oh, great.
Or Friday.
Yeah, there's lots to do here, and I'm sure once you get here, you'll be able to check out all kinds of other things.
You know what else you could do is there's a how old are you?
18.
18, yeah, you sound young. If you want to really experience the battlefield, there's a business called Getty's Bike Tours. You can go to gettysbike.com, and you can make the arrangements there. It's it's a bike tour, but like you're out there and you can really feel the land, and you got the wind in your face, and it's great. It's the best way to do it if you're able. So that's what I would recommend.
That's sweet. Thank you so much for answering.
Sure, you're welcome. That's it? No other questions?
That's it.
All right, you have yourself a good night.
Appreciate it.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, 248, you are on the air in 1 second. I just got to press the button. There you are. Oh, no, I don't want to drop the call. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button there again. Okay, 248, you're on the air. Hello? 248? Okay, they're not there.
Change their mind.
Sorry. You snooze, you lose. So I'm going to put you back in the queue, and I'm going to come back to you later. Let's see. Let's go to 513. You are also now on the air.
513, that must be me.
That
Hello.
is you. Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very nervous.
Oh,
I'm
don't
sorry.
be nervous.
I'm great. Very, very nervous. I wrote down my questions just so I don't, come off like a complete idiot. I've been giving myself a little pep talk ever since, okay, don't make a fool of yourself.
Come on. We've been talking
Don't
this whole
make a fool
time
of
without
yourself.
writing anything down, so you can do it.
I know, right?
What's
and
your
well,
name?
I mean, I kind of feel. My name's Pamela, and I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay, Pamela from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, I feel silly because I watch JD all the time, and I do kind of feel like we don't know each other, but, watching him, very comfortable. I should be able to say, hey, JD, it's cool. But
yeah, exactly. And you'll
yeah,
be like,
no,
hi,
it's
Pamela.
awesome. Yeah. Yeah, well, and just, I mean, with all your self-deprecation, JD, that's why we follow you, because you're so bloody relatable. You don't come off like an expert or, obviously, you're very knowledgeable, but you don't present anything in a way that seems like pretentious or condescending, and it's very, very easy to follow. And my gosh, he just got off the phone with an 18-year-old kid. That's fantastic. I've got a son his age, and none of my kids are that excited about it. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Thank you. The one thing. Oh, I'm sorry. The one thing that I am really
no, please.
The one thing that I am really good at is not sounding like an expert. So I do that well.
I don't know about that because I've learned an awful lot from you. Absolutely.
Oh, well,
and presentation is absolutely key. Presentation is key. And, if you're relatable, then people will watch. Definitely.
And Pamela, may I say
and
something?
You guys don't have all night.
May I say something to you,
Please.
Pamela? You sound like you are barely over 18 yourself. You sound very young. How could you have children that age?
Oh my gosh, I will take that as such a high compliment. No. Well, a lady never ever gives her age.
I didn't ask your age.
Was a very, very distant memory. Very distant memory. That's okay. I'll take it. And Eric, I look so forward to visiting your museum. As a true Midwesterner, we just hop in the car and drive. So, a few hours away is no big deal. So yeah, as soon as it's safe. And I come, and I'm going to have to remind you of this conversation, and you'll be like, whatever. But
please do.
It'll be fun. But definitely. And Mr. Addressing Gettysburg, I just found your channel, and I cannot wait to check out your content and see what else you have to teach me.
Well, I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you find me just as self-deprecating as JD.
I have no doubt I will. I have the same self-deprecating dark sense of humor. It's quite all right. So,
Nobody hates me more than I do.
And what else is there? Exactly. I'm so good at that.
Yes, exactly.
We'd all get along so well.
We would. Hey, listen, when you come to Gettysburg and go to Eric's
Anyway.
museum, let us all know, and we'll go together and get a beer or something, okay?
That sounds fantastic. I will take you up on that. I will
right.
absolutely take you up on
I
that.
actually will remember.
Definitely. All right.
Okay.
So, does
Really?
she have a question?
Fantastic.
Was it the question?
I will.
Was that the
I
question?
do. I have a couple.
Oh, I thought you,
No, I do.
I'm sorry.
No, I wrote them down and everything. No, I'm not a talker. You gotta shut me up.
Matt was getting ready to hang up on you.
I was about to hang up on you. I'm sorry.
There's no time.
It's okay. Apologies.
All right. So go ahead,
Okay,
Pamela.
in that particular, I'll just cut it down to one question then, and I will get it to you, Mr. Addressing Gettysburg. Are there any particular narratives about Gettysburg that you just absolutely hate? any I don't know, any rumors, any stories. And I know that's such a big question.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, everybody focuses on,
you said the word narrative, and my producer and I perked up because we do narrative episodes. And then when you said that you absolutely hate, I was going to say, okay, well, I hate those. I hate the ones that I do. So I was going to name my own episodes. But you're talking about
the ones that you do.
Because nobody hates me more than me.
That are out there, like.
Okay.
Fair enough. We did cover that.
Yeah, we did cover that. I'm alluding. Go ahead, Eric. Yeah.
Can I steal this question?
Sure.
I would
Please.
say anything. Oh man, I'm going to draw the hatred of a lot of people whenever I say this. Anything that has to do anything that has yeah. Anything that has to do with Gettysburg being haunted.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I am.
Agreed.
So
agreed.
I have a funny story that goes along. Like anytime I post a Civil War video, there are people who will say, did you experience any paranormal activity? Was it haunted? Did you feel anything or anything like that?
There's no time.
So I did a video at Andersonville.
Okay.
Which was, for people who don't know, a big prisoner of war camp down in Georgia where a lot of Union troops were held. One of the worst places to be during the Civil War. There's one slow motion shot where I'm showing like these big gates. They're like 8 or 12 foot tall, and they're opening up. And I started getting comments from people saying, "Hey, at like the 1323 mark, like look in between the door frame and the door. You legitimately caught like the shadow of a ghost."
Somebody says this to you. This is a comment.
These are comments on YouTube. Yeah. So I'm like,
oh dear
the
is right,
heck?
Pamela.
So I was getting multiple comments like this saying, dude, there's a ghost. You like captured the image of a ghost. So I go up to this spot in the video and I look, and sure enough, as I'm doing this slow motion shot, as the door is opening, in between the door frame and the door, you see the shadow of some figure move by. And it was my son getting in the shot.
Right. I mean, imagine that, the crazy logical explanation. And look, I mean, and that's not to, now hold on, and I'm sure you guys don't mean to either. There's not trying to trample on anybody's beliefs, and I'm not, making fun of anybody, but I mean, come on, really? I was at Stones River, and, one of my kids that I dragged along was just kind of like, okay, well, we're going to see any ghosts. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. Yeah. Like, well, a bunch of people died here. I'm like, okay, let's be a little bit more respectful. These are hallowed grounds, and no, ghosts don't hang around battlefields and just walk around and wait for people to show up so they can beat their drums and shoot their guns. Come on now.
The history of Gettysburg is
not how that goes.
You don't need the ghosts.
No, that's what we always say, is that the stories are horrifying enough.
Yeah.
I'll tell you,
Absolutely.
Pamela, the one that really grinded my gears a year or two ago was that new Gettysburg ghost video that came out, which is clearly a droplet of water on the windshield of the car. But everybody thinks it's some like squiggly kind of horror movie type of ghost moving around in erratic ways. But if you look, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to find that. No, I try not to look at that just so it doesn't keep popping up in my feed. But yeah I think I remember a while ago. New amazing firsthand.
Yeah, sign into your friend's account and look it up, because then it'll pop up in their feed. But like it's really annoying. I mean, it made like the New York Times, or maybe not the New York Times, but it was like major news publications were spreading this all over the place, and it's like it's a drop of water. It's really annoying. That's one thing I don't like. The other thing I don't. It's not that I don't really hate any of the narratives. What just kind of like makes my skin crawl. And I think Eric, the producer, I think you'll agree with me on these.
The what ifs?
The what ifs.
Yes.
What if Jackson were here? What if Hood was allowed to go around to the right? What if Matt from Addressing Gettysburg had hair? All these Gettysburg
armchair generaling, if you will.
Yeah, and it's really like, I don't understand. I guess it's just like a flexing of the muscle in your brain muscle that you think you're doing when you do this. I don't know what it is that people. But what ifs to me are such a waste of time.
Yeah, they are. But I like playing with those alternate histories things.
Absolutely,
they're fun. They're fun to do.
Well, no, because it's a good way to show how much you understand the battle. Like the what if Hood was allowed to go around to the right.
Yeah.
If someone like actually says, they should have let Hood go around to the right, man. Like, I know they only watched the movie.
Why? So he could be completely cut off from the rest of the army and crushed by the 6th Corps that was waiting there?
That's what we say.
Cool.
Yes. Because he doesn't, right, he's going to be swallowed up. So, yeah, I think they're fun for that reason. Yeah. But they do kind of bother me because the what ifs are always, they always seem to be someone trying to figure out a way that the South could have won, which is fine, except they didn't win.
Yeah.
And it's like there's nothing you can do to change that. It is what it is. It's history. Oh. And yeah.
Except it's not fine. Absolutely.
So here's a funny one. Oh man, I shouldn't have brought this up because it's gonna feel. I try to be a nice guy, and I don't want to come off sounding rude to the person who left this comment, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
Just don't say their name.
Okay. I can't remember what it was.
Exactly.
So Gary Edelman and I did a video on East Cemetery Hill. Okay, so you have Hayes, Louisiana Tigers and Avery's North Carolina Tar Heels that attack up East Cemetery Hill. Confederates attacking a Union position. They occupy it briefly. Union drives them off. Somebody got on there on that video and left a comment, and they said, if the Confederates would have had modern day comms, would have been a completely different story that day. And I was like, yeah, it probably would have been, assuming that the Union didn't have access to the same technology. But yes, if the Confederates would have had modern day comms and
if the Confederates had a nuke, things would have been different.
Yeah, it would have been a different. Yeah. But yeah, to me, it's fun to play with that kind of stuff.
Pamela, can we
what
help
waste,
you in any
honestly,
other way?
Because with Gary Abelman, no, not at all. Just to point out real quick that with Gary Edelman, what a waste of time. Of all the questions you could ask that man, I mean, he has such a wealth of information. It seems what a waste of time.
I hope you
kind of funny. What a shame.
I hope you enjoy the show that we did with Gary Edelman just a couple of weeks ago. Actually, a week ago, I think it was.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
last Monday.
Yeah, Gary's a lot of fun to talk to. And that's about it. Pamela, you got anything else, right? That's it? Don't forget.
No. Thank you guys for letting me take up so much of your time, and I'm going to take you up on that beer.
Yeah, I was just going to say, don't forget when you're coming to town, let us know about the beer. And that's it.
Absolutely won't forget. Thank you guys so much for your time. You guys have a great rest of your night.
You're welcome. You too. Great talking to you. All right, let's try to go back to 248 because he's still in the queue here. So let me see. 248, are you there? 248, come in. Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing, 248.
Must be in a
248, where are you?
Wicked dead zone for cell
There's
signal.
no time.
Oh, there's 248.
There is no time.
It's Robert E. Lee.
Hello?
Oh.
Told you there is no time for that.
Here he is. Okay, 248. There you are. Are you there?
No, we just got yelled at.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
This is 248. Can you?
Go ahead. We
can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I just had another call come in at the exact same time.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
There is no time.
There is no time.
Okay.
There is no time.
What can we do for you, 248?
Well, this call is mainly for JD. This is just a shout out. This is Jim from Michigan.
Hey, Michigan
and
Jim.
I just wanted to say you were holding out on me, JD. I was there with you in June, and you didn't emphasize enough the importance of this museum you were going to go to the next day. So.
Good job, JD.
I tried to tell you.
Now I got to go. Well, I've already been a customer, and I do have a copy of the book. It just came the other day, so I haven't broken it open yet. And I'm definitely going to go back. And I've ordered a few things, too. I did want that nice silver tray, but it was a little out of my price range.
Oh.
And it's already gone, I believe.
Well, the silver stuff goes pretty quick. Yeah, I know which one.
Yeah. I was surprised you put that on there. But anyways, I'm a big fan, as JD knows, and I'm going to be back down there, so I will stop in, and that's going to be one of my priorities at the museum. So,
well, thank you.
Plan half a day.
And as far as the podcast, what's that? Half a day?
Yeah, there's a lot there, man.
Maybe more. And addressing Gettysburg podcast, I just found you guys the other day as well. So I've got a lot of catching up to do.
Very nice. Yes, you do. You have a lot of catching up to do. But enjoy it. I hope you enjoy
it. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I watched the show with Gary Edelman, so that was pretty good.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Well, 248, I hope we get to meet you when you come to town sometime. And thanks for the call. Thanks for sticking in there with us.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you, man.
Have a good night. All right, man. We've got.
Take it easy, Jason.
All right. We're going to, let's see, we've got 4 more calls, and then that's it. That's it. We're going to, we're all going to fall asleep if we don't. 443, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello. Yes, 443.
Yeah, my name is Dennis. This is just a shout out to JD and to Eric. I wanted to thank him. I was able to stop by yesterday at the museum, talk to him from Westminster, and couldn't be two nicer guys to discuss things with, to take the time and to show me stuff and to answer all my questions. I just highly recommend your show and the museum. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the
Appreciate
call.
that.
All right.
All right. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to 816 here. 816, you should be on the air right now.
Hello.
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 Hello. How are y'all tonight?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. My name is Melinda, and my husband and I live with our family in Alabama, and I have a question / asking for advice on a direction that my husband and I are kind of doing some research on.
Okay.
Okay, so we do live in Alabama, but my husband's ancestry roots are from upstate New York. And in some ancestry research that he's done, he has a distant relative that fought at Culp's Hill, was injured and ended up dying in a I think a field hospital in Gettysburg. His name was Elijah Ryant, and upon further research, we discovered that his gravestone is misspelled at the Gettysburg Cemetery. It's listed, it's engraved as Bryant with a B at the beginning, and we have tried some avenues of maybe how we could get it rectified to be spelled correctly, and kind of to no avail. And we were kind of wondering if you had any advice on a direction for us to go.
I would show up with a flashlight, a hammer, and a chisel.
No,
and,
no, do not give that advice.
That might not go over well.
No, that is not a joke. You cannot joke about that. Don't do that. No.
People wouldn't take that seriously, would
Yes,
they?
they would, because you're saying it, and they follow you. Don't believe him on that one,
So,
folks.
believe me on this. That was a joke.
I won't. Yes, I understand.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't know on that.
He was Private Elijah Ryant from the 137th New York.
Elijah Ryant.
Yes.
Ryant. Yes.
I'm looking at his gravestone now. It is, in fact, incorrectly
It was
marked.
137.
Yeah, 137th, Company K of the 137th New York, right there on the right flank on Culp's Hill. It's basically the 20th Maine of Culp's Hill. So the 20th Maine was the last regiment on the left flank, and the 137th, Colonel David Ireland.
Ireland, yeah. That is one of my favorite stories in Gettysburg, and it is so often overlooked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Identical percentage in loss of
that is true.
casualties.
Yes.
Yeah. The only problem is they didn't have as good a publicist as
the
20th Maine.
You know, the 137th.
Well, we've seen one of your, you did a video on the, JD, you did a video on the 137th, did you not? Yes.
Yeah.
My husband, he enjoyed watching that.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. I love that place.
So he has tried to contact the cemetery. He even contacted the local representative of that area to try to maybe even, try that route with one of the legislatures there to get something rolling, and has just not been able to make contact with anyone to maybe even have a discussion about maybe how to rectify the spelling of his name.
I wonder if Tim Smith
on the gravestone.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tim would probably say, good luck.
Yeah,
like
that's exactly what he would say. And I know people have tried that with some of the World War II graves, and it seems like it's they don't want to be bothered
No,
with it, unfortunately,
yeah.
you know, and
it's part of the history now.
Yeah.
That is mislabeled. Like that's the history. That's the story now, right?
Well, even when
Correct.
those guys were still alive, there's that story of the fellow from, I think, the 140th Pennsylvania. His knapsack was stolen.
Yes.
By someone from another regiment who was killed.
Right.
That body was identified based on the knapsack, who had the incorrect name on it, and was buried under said name. And the living veteran, who had not been in fact killed, came back to the cemetery, I think in the 1880s.
Yeah.
And visited his own grave, and had a fair amount of problems getting it changed then.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll put it to you this way: the Park Service knows of about about 9 Confederates that are buried in the National
9
Cemetery.
that are known.
Confederates buried in Union graves, and they're not going anywhere. They're
I don't think anything's going to change. And I was just thinking about your story, Eric, and imagine when he went for his pension.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah,
the red
he had
tape?
a hard time getting a veteran's pension too. That's part of it.
Wow.
Roy, oh God.
G-Biv. Roy
No,
G-Biv.
the guide. Roy Frampton.
Oh, Roy Frampton.
Roy Frampton
I thought you were
wrote
naming the guy.
No, Roy Frampton wrote the book about the National Cemetery, and he included that.
We did an episode about the National Cemetery with Roy.
And Roy talks about that
and he
story
talks
in there,
about
too.
that story. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. There's a lot of cool stories with the cemetery there. But yeah, okay. So I'm sorry. That was your question, JD. I'm hogging it from you here. Sorry.
No, that wasn't my question.
Oh no, it was for anybody.
No,
it was for anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
good.
you
I'm
guys-
glad I hogged it then.
No, yeah, you guys would be way more qualified. Yeah, I obviously answered it poorly.
Yes. Well, I would say get a flashlight and a chisel. No. Ma'am, what was your name? Did you say your name?
Melinda.
Melinda, that's right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for calling. And good luck with
Thank you.
I hope maybe, they'll do that for you, but I highly doubt it.
Okay. Thank y'all.
You're welcome. Have a good one. Okay, man, every time I lose a call, another one comes in here. So let's go. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. Another 10 minutes of calls, folks. 559, you're on the air.
Hi, this is Aaron from Central California, 39.
Hello. Welcome.
Hi, I'm a big fan. I especially like the Black Hill series and when you went to Deadwood and stuff.
Oh yeah, that was a fun trip.
Yeah. I actually got poker cards because I wanted the ones without the numbers on them, that they just have the suits, and I got them from Amazon, so that was cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But about Gettysburg, I was wondering. I have 2 questions. I was wondering about the flag that when Minnesota fought Virginia, and they still have the flag in Minnesota, the Confederate battle flag. If you have any insight on that.
The first Minnesota you're talking about?
Yeah. There was a regiment from Minnesota that fought in Gettysburg, and then they still have the battle flag in their state capital, and Virginia keeps asking for it back, and they won't give it to them.
Right. You know the story, Eric?
Also,
Go ahead, Eric. Give him some insight.
but also, like, and if after that, if you could just on the JFK thing, if you could just give me your guys' real thoughts on the whole conspiracy. It just really bothers me that Lee Harvey Oswald had connections to the Soviet Union. I just never got over that. So if you could kind of give your thoughts on that too.
What's your name?
Aaron.
Karen? Aaron. Okay, Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron.
All right, Aaron.
Aaron,
and
yes.
Let me just ask you, how old are you?
39.
Okay, very good. All right, Eric, so go ahead with his first question about the first Minnesota.
Well, are you asking to
tell the story?
Well, they captured the flag, and it's at the state capitol, I assume.
Yeah, they captured. What was it? What was the Virginia regiment?
28th Virginia.
28th Virginia.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of those Confederate flags have been returned by certain states, but Minnesota said no.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's not really much more to it than
But
that.
that's pretty much it, right? Is that what you were getting at, Aaron?
Okay, yeah. I guess if there's no story to it, yeah, I was just wondering.
Well, no, it's just this funny story that they captured it in battle, and Virginia's been begging for it back for years and years, and Minnesota says no.
And I can see both sides of that argument.
Sure.
You know, where one side, like the first Minnesota, I mean, just got
decimated,
bludgeoned.
Yeah.
You know, they're on the second day.
Yeah,
So
can I ask something else about Gettysburg though? Because the girl was talking about the haunted, the kind of like the haunting behind Gettysburg, and I was wondering, like, when Mary Todd Lincoln's child died, I guess she went into like kind of like an occult thing where she went.
Yeah, she was trying to do what do they call those?
More into the occult back then.
Yeah.
She got into spiritualism. She would have seances.
And is there any connection with that or anything like that?
no, I don't think so. I don't think there's any connection to Gettysburg in that I'm aware of.
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay.
I mean,
thank you.
There are people that do seances and stuff around here and stuff. But you want to talk about, okay, really quick about the JFK thing?
Yeah, well, you know, Oswald was in the Marine Corps, and he started demonstrating Marxist tendencies. He was reading about communism and Marxism, and I think he truly believed it. There's a really great recording that he made right before the assassination where he talks about it, and he actually sounds really pretty versed in it.
Yeah.
And you know, at our museum we actually have some of his books, some of his communist books, and so he was a communist, and you know, it was kind of a edgy thing to do, you know, like kids do edgy things.
Yeah.
But back then, you know, they were like the ultimate enemy of the United States, and so I believe, you know, he was a rebel, but I think he was a true communist, and I think he believed in the philosophy. And you know, if you ever access some of those recordings of him talking, I believe it was on a New Orleans radio station,
that's right.
And they're fantastic, and it really gives you a glimpse into his mind. And you know, the leaving to live in the Soviet Union, you know, giving up his citizenship. I mean, that's pretty extreme, but you know, he did it, and they used it as propaganda and everything. And I think once he got over there and realized he made a big mistake, you know, he tried to get back. And, you know, we even have a document that inquires about that in our collection that's signed by him. Maybe JD and I can do a video about that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And, you know, I just think he was a communist, and I think he was a true believer of that philosophy.
And here, Aaron, I'll give you one a little deeper. He was a narcissist. His mother was a narcissist, and she was doting on him, and he was a loser. He was a loser. The guy, if you study the guy, he had these delusions of grandeur about himself. When he came back from Russia, he was upset that there weren't reporters at the airport waiting to talk to him. The great Marine defector. He thought that he was so important. He was a nut. And in April, I think it was, of '63, he tried to assassinate a right-wing general named
Walker.
Thank you, General Walker. Tried to shoot him, and he was sitting there in his office in his house, you know, through the window, and the bullet missed him. And they didn't connect Oswald to that crime until after Kennedy was killed, and they had the rifle to match it. And so he was trying to make a name for himself. An opportunity fell in his lap when he found out that the president's motorcade was going to go right past the place where he had just gotten a job only a month before. And the conspiracy people say, oh, well, you know, Oswald got a job there so that he could take the shot. Nobody knew the parade route until I think it was 5 days or so before the assassination. So Oswald had already been there in October. He had gotten that job, and it was luck. And sometimes life is just being in the right place at the right time and taking an opportunity. And unfortunately, in this case, the opportunity that he took was to kill President Kennedy. But, you know.
Like Franz Ferdinand in World War I, too.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yep.
And that's the thing is people have a hard time believing that history can turn on a dime because of a loser. That a man like Kennedy can be snuffed out because of some loser, narcissist, 23-year-old who has no life and no promise of anything. And that's really, I believe, what it is. And I used to be one of these Oliver Stone type people. You know, I was like, man, the grassy knoll, and it's like I could sit and do a show for 4 hours about this and just poke holes in everything. I love this stuff.
Do that.
We should do it.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. That'll be on our Patreon stuff.
Yeah, please do it, guys.
Okay.
I love you guys. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you for the call. Great questions.
Where is Oswald's rifle? Is that like in a closet?
National Archives has it.
In the archives? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you had it in the back room there.
Have you ever been to the 6th floor museum?
Yes, I have.
I've got to go down there. I've never been down there. Have you?
been there either.
You got to do that.
Yeah.
You got to go
Ooh,
down
yeah.
there.
That would be fun.
Put that at the top of the list.
Go
to that before everything else. Yeah, I like that.
We should take something there.
Yeah.
You know, okay, I got to give it a little tease. You know, and this has been done a little bit, but one of the things JD and I are going to do is take artifacts to the spot. And, you know, of course, that's been done a little bit here, but it hasn't been done a whole lot in Europe. So in 2017, 2018, I did 2 tours in Europe, and I brought artifacts back to the spot. We actually brought the keys to the Eagle's Nest back to the Eagle's Nest.
No way.
And had our friend Bradford Freeman, the Easy Company vet that wrote the foreword to Jared and my book, turn the keys in the spot. So we were thinking of doing something like that. But I don't want to give too much away, but we were planning a trip hopefully this fall over to Normandy or Germany or something.
Awesome.
And we're going to bring some cool items with us.
We've been generating a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
Good. Don't give them away. I'm going to steal them.
Yeah.
All right, 513. You are on the air.
Hi, my name's Nick. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Uh-huh.
I'm a longtime fan of JD's.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. We've actually conversed a few times over Instagram.
Okay.
My handle on there is Mossy World War II guy.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I had a few questions about Gettysburg. I'm going down there for my birthday. And I just had a few questions on, I tried to book at the Federal Point Inn. Obviously,
good.
It's booked up.
Oh, it's booked up?
Is there, yeah, it's booked up. Is there any other historical hotels there that you guys would suggest?
I like it's not the James Geddes anymore. It's called the Union Hotel, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's on Chambersburg Street. The Gettysburg Hotel on the Square is nice. If you like actual Civil War houses and stuff, the Brafferton, well, that goes back to the colonial days.
Battlefield Bed and Breakfast.
Battlefield Bread and Breakfast.
I stayed there.
I'm getting married there.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the other?
Awesome.
Balladary Inn. Balladary Inn is another one. There's a lot of places. Farnsworth House. Yeah, they've got rooms there.
There's also an Airbnb that just opened up. So whenever I was here in June, I was the first person to get to stay in it.
Okay.
And it's on East High Street called the Row House. So that's another option too.
All right. Yeah, check out Airbnb. There's a lot of cool places on
there
Airbnb.
are a ton of places.
Yeah. There are a lot of places you can find.
I haven't stayed in a bad one yet. They're all great.
And not to shamelessly.
I don't think there's anything bad around there.
Yeah, no, there aren't. Well, I'm not going to name them, but not to shamelessly plug our show, but every Friday we do a live show on Facebook and soon on YouTube where we discuss everything that's going on today. So, like, if you're coming in for the weekend, we kind of fill you in on what there is to do, so you wouldn't have to sit there wonder what to do or where to go. So, but anyway.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome.
All right, do you have another question, or is that it?
I also have one more.
Okay.
I also have one more question for Eric. When I stop into your museum, would you be able to sign my book?
Absolutely, I'd be glad to do that.
$75.
Hey, I'll pay whatever costs. It's a privilege.
$175.
Have you read Hang Tough yet?
Yeah, I'm actually into the 3rd chapter.
Okay, great.
Great. I only get a limited time to be able to read, but yeah, it's so far it's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. You're going to love the museum. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't describe it, but
I would imagine to take my breath away a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some pretty great stuff in there. Ava Braun's negligee. You still have that?
We have some of Ava Braun's items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ava Braun's negligee. Like, who would? Why would you think of that? But there it is. There it is, right next to Hitler's silverware. Like it's not.
Well,
it's
some of
not
that stuff was
necessarily.
used to wrap the silverware when they sent it home. So
See, I love this stuff. Yeah, you have to go there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, sir. Thank you very much for the call. I got to move this along. Thank you for
fellas
calling.
have a good night.
You too. Bye bye. Okay, 320, and then all right, we're gonna do 5 more minutes. So 320, make it quick, right to the point. Thank you.
Yes, JD. When are you going to do one on the on women of the Civil War that served?
Very good question. Thank you very much.
On women of the Civil War that served?
Yes.
So I would need to do a little bit more digging on that. So one thing that I tried to do with the Gettysburg series is not just tell military stories, but to talk about some of the civilians and some of the things that women went through and things like that. Really, what I would need to do is just dig into that a little bit more and find the right vehicle to tell that story.
Have you been to the Shriver House here?
Yeah, I did a video there.
Okay. Oh, you did. Okay,
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
Well, you did one on Jenny Wade.
Yep, and did one on Jenny Wade.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, with the History Traveler series, I need like a place to go and something to show.
Right.
In order to tell a story,
I think I can help you there.
Okay.
We got some cool stuff.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That
All
worked
right.
out fine. All right,
So
good.
We may have something in the works.
Very good. All right, good. 989, you are on the air. Quick and to the point, please. 989.
Hello.
Hello.
Nina, is it me?
Yes, it's you.
Hey, addressing Gettysburg. It's Rick from Houghton Lake, Michigan. I've talked to you several times on Instagram.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Rick?
Good. How are you? I missed those the portside cigar and adult beverage night.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When was that? What are you talking about?
Your porch chat.
Oh, my
It's been a
porch
few months
chats.
ago when your porch chat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been too muggy. As soon as I get home in the air conditioner, I don't want to go out on the porch and sit there and sweat again.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah,
I'm
it's been
getting
muggy
old.
here too. But I've been so I've kind of established a little bromance there with JD. I've been watching his channel now religiously, and I'm looking to drop an app for an assistant if he's looking for one.
For an assistant?
Wants to drop an aspirin for an
Yeah,
assistant.
for an assistant.
Oh.
No, an application for an assistant.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. That you say that, but Eric can attest to the fact that watching me try and film some of this stuff is probably like one of the most painful things ever. Like
Yeah.
they could take what I do and like use it as an enhanced interrogation technique at Guantanamo, and seriously give up all of their secrets. They'd be like, "Oh, please, just get me away from this guy."
So you're saying that you would be tough to assist?
Oh, it would be boring.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be boring.
I would
It
do
would
it
be
anyway.
boring.
I spent time in the military. I'm pretty sure I could take the interrogation.
See, now I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you. And so he's offering to assist you, right? Comes out of the woodwork. Eric, my Eric, came out of the woodwork over a year ago. Literally, we were on Culp's Hill, and he came out of the woods. And he said, "Do you need help?" Yeah. And I said, "Are you a psychiatrist?" And he said, "No, with the show." And I said, "Oh, yes, I do need that as well." And when I said, he said, "Well, what do you need help with?" I said, "Everything." So what have you done? Like, what do you do? And he told me. And when I heard military, I said, I need a manager. I need a producer. I need somebody who can keep me organized. Yeah. And so if this guy was in the military and he's saying he can handle the torture, Eric can handle the torture, I would take him up on it. I mean, if you could, I mean, it's up to you. But let me just say, military guys are good assistants, managers, whatever.
I am getting into like doing group tours and stuff like that. Where we can go to some of these sites together.
Sure.
And like I'm planning one to Normandy for next spring, so it's still in the planning stages and hope to have it put together here pretty soon. But we'll be doing some filming there, whenever I do that.
Right.
So
okay, good. Rick, thanks for the call. I got to move on and end this. Go ahead. What? Real quick.
I have one question for JD. Are you ever going to do anything with service academies? Any tours of service academies?
Any tours of service academies?
Yeah, like West Point.
Oh, West
yeah,
Point. Okay.
yeah. Yes. Yeah, one of these days. that's definitely something that's on my big list.
All right, very good. Thanks.
We got a kid at the Naval Academy, so.
Oh, there you go.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Cool.
All right, well, you guys have a great night. Thanks for taking the call.
You
All
too.
right,
Thank you
yeah,
very
thank you.
much. Good to
It's
hear
good
from you,
talking to
Rick.
you.
Thanks. Okay, last call here, ladies and gentlemen. Last call. Although there are more, but we got to end it soon. 917, you're on the air.
Hey, fellas, thanks for taking the call. Just like Soprano said, I got a couple of three things. First, JD, thanks for the great tip on the Federal Point Hotel.
Oh, awesome.
On my way back from New York to Chattanooga, I lucked out, and they had one room left, and it was the suite on the first floor.
Oh.
We had a great 2 or 3 nights there.
Nice.
Outstanding. And while we were in town, I tried to go to the History Museum, and I struck out there. It was closed, unfortunately, so I've got to get it back there. JD, when you were on Culp's Hill doing your filming, I know they had cleared out the brush to see Forbes Rock and walk up and down the hill. I didn't see it on your video. Did you actually get down the Forbes Rock?
So somebody left a comment on that video about Forbes Rock. And I am just like a whole lot of people. I'm still learning. So whenever I shot that, I didn't know anything about Forbes Rock. So whenever
when did you shoot?
That was me. That was me.
Oh,
JD.
was it? Was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Small world. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually appreciate that because whenever somebody says, "Hey, did you see Forbes Rock, or did you see this, or did you see that?" That's an opportunity for me to learn.
Yeah.
So
good.
So that's
well,
going
the last thing I have.
Sure.
Good. I'm on the. I'm a member of the American Battlefield Trust, but I'm on the board down here at Chickamauga Chattanooga Battlefield Civil War Roundtable.
Yep.
And I just want to throw the invite. If you're ever back down here, I'd love to show you around on a personal tour down here. Maybe spots that you didn't hit the first time you were here in town, and we can hook up and show you around town.
I am going to get back to Chickamauga, but that is a battle that I have to get my head wrapped around, just because I just got to spend some time with it because that one is confusing to me, and I want to make sure. I've had a lot of people ask me about Chickamauga, so I want to make sure that I do it right whenever I come down.
Well, when you're ready, reach out, and we'll certainly take great care of you down here.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
Very nice. Thank you very much for the call.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Have a great.
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that too early, but it always happens because there's a bit of a delay.
Oh, okay.
So you press the button and it doesn't do it, and then you think they're not talking, and then they start talking. You hang up on them. Okay, one more. 317. You're on the air.
Hey, how you guys doing? Thanks for taking my call. JD, is Kenneth from North Carolina, South Carolina. How do you like that? Hey, man, love your channel.
Thank you.
Been watching it for over a year. It's fantastic. But everybody's asking you kind of stuff, which is cool. But I had a question for Eric.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking about, people have ephemera, people have things. How do you hold things to where they keep? How do you keep things well? And donations. Like my thing is I've got some cool flags. I'm an aircraft guy. I got all kinds of different things, but I collected paper stuff for years, and I'm kind of divesting myself of things. But you just don't want to go to a big collection and not see it. You don't want people to look at it. I mean, what's your thoughts about stuff like that to where people can actually go and see things?
Well, it's a little tough with
And that's
paper.
all I got, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a little tough with some certain paper items, especially things like diaries or books, and you can't really display it, and it's hard to let people go through old paper items because it gets messed up. I guess the main way to do it now is they digitize it and make it available that way. So people can access it and maybe put it online or something. But it does get a little bit tough with paper items, and we usually archive most of that stuff. And so we do have some paper items out, but when it comes to things like books and diaries, we keep them put away or just display the first page or something like that. But yeah, it's tough, because you just can't have it being handled by everyone that comes in the museum, obviously.
Yeah, I'm very careful when I bring things out myself. I let my girls look at it. I want them to see the history,
And that's the thing I think a lot of people are getting away from is showing the history. When you have it, just show people, just show them around with it.
Yeah. What items do you have specifically?
Oh, it's kind of crazy. I collected for years, like learning manuals on how to use the ball turret. Things like that from aircraft. I've got stacks of that. And what's really cool is I've got 5 or 6 of those same pamphlets. On the back, it's stamped official Alamogordo, New Mexico. And it's dated during the time when they were doing the atomic bomb. I went back and looked at it and looked at all the different things they did. It's really interesting. Just some pamphlets, no one ever would think to kind of tie that stuff together. And I've got a couple really neat, flags, more of a communist flag, kind of almost a Cold War kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's stuff you want people to look at. I mean, it's fascinating stuff.
Yeah. Well, thank you for preserving it.
Well, I have to give you a call and see if there's something you can maybe use. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Email us pictures if you want. info@GettysburgMuseumofHistory.com. You can send an email.
Absolutely, I'll do that. And thanks for your time, guys.
All right,
Thank you for the call. Thank you very much. And thank all of you for watching. And if I just may take a moment here, I would like to thank JD for letting us hijack his stream. I would like to thank all of you for putting up with me as the host. And in case you're crazy and you'd like to learn more about Gettysburg, Addressing Gettysburg is all about you learning about Gettysburg. And like I said, we have a live show Fridays that talks about everything that's going on in town today, so you can kind of get like a feeling of what it's like to live here without actually living here. But if you come to visit that weekend, you'll know what's going on and all the things that you can go and do. So please check us out. And we're on YouTube now, so you can go to YouTube. You can get us anywhere you can find podcasts. So thank you very much for that. Eric Dorr, the Gettysburg Museum of History. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not just saying this because he's looking at me right now and he's got 2 guns in that case over there. I really think it is the best museum in town and one of the best museums that you could probably find. I can't imagine one as good or better, honestly. So, Eric, thank you for coming on. I know I've been bugging you for 2 years to come on.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad JD finally convinced you to do it. And but we'll have you on again to talk more about the museum, I hope.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure. Address?
219 Baltimore Street.
Where can they find you online?
GettysburgMuseumofHistory.com and Facebook page, Gettysburg Museum of History.
Phone number or just email, or how do you want them to
email?
Contact you?
info@GettysburgMuseumofHistory.com.
JD, everybody watching knows you already because this is your channel. So there's really no need for me to ask you to give all that information. But in case they haven't found you elsewhere, Instagram,
right where you're watching right now. So Instagram, Facebook. Those are the 2 platforms where I'm most active.
All right, very good.
Yeah. This has been fun, though.
This was a great idea. I'm glad you asked to do it. I'm glad I made it more obnoxious by hijacking your feed. So that's great. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Whatever. Have a good night. Take care of yourselves.